In today's video, tips for losing baby weight with Kayleigh. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Parvella from ProPhysique.com, and today I have with me a special guest, Kayleigh Obert.
Obert, yes. Hi.
We've been working together so long. You used to be Kayleigh Kelly.
I did, yeah.
And actually,
It was like my stage name.
that joyous occasion, marrying Jake Obert, well, that's kind of why we're here today.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be really cool to talk about your transformation from competitor to mom to competitor again.
Yes.
And maybe go over some of the things that you did that were helpful that others could learn from when losing the post-baby weight. Because I think that's a time when there's a lot of variation in expectations from person to person, and we're not implying in any way, shape, or form that you have to lose weight or anything like that.
It's you're nervous, especially if it's your first baby.
Yes.
Knowing ahead of time how you could approach it, I think is helpful.
Yeah, and I've been through it twice with my wife, and I know the second time was a little more stressful for her, but I want to talk about your journey. So let's start off where we started. What was your kind of pre-pregnancy weight? What did it hover around at? What did it get up to? And then what was it after the baby?
So
Baby Pearl.
Pre-baby Pearl, I was 130 pounds. And then by the end of my pregnancy, I made it to week 39. I was 175, so about 45 pounds.
Okay.
Right at 45
and you're
pounds.
tall. You're a tall girl.
Yeah, 5'7".
She's not actually standing on a dumbbell like most of the girls are when I do videos with them.
Right. Yeah, so I gained 45 pounds, and I actually kept Paul through my pregnancy to about month 7, and then I just kind of went on my own because it's inevitable. You can't really control a lot.
And actually, I think it's important. I think probably we talked, and I was like, no, listen to what you need to eat.
Yeah, I kept your training though the entire time.
Okay.
So like literally the day I gave birth, I was doing barbell
So maybe
squats.
that's the first tip, is that you didn't just completely abandon your fitness approach prior to that.
Yeah, no, I kept, like I said, I worked out the entire time. You have to move like your stance on things and that, but I kept up.
Yeah, I definitely think, obviously the safety of the child is, important, so you're not going to be doing things that would compromise that, maybe like a leg press
Just
or
stay
something.
active.
Yeah, but still moving. So here's the first tip. If you were not in shape before you got pregnant, it's probably going to negatively impact how you respond after.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's probably better to be in a good place prior to pregnancy if you want to be in a great place after. Like, you're probably looking at the thumbnail on this video and seeing like, okay, she went from pregnant to like a fitness model, but you were already in a really good place prior to pregnancy.
Yeah, correct.
But let's talk about, so that was, what did you say, 45 pounds?
Yeah, 45
That's still
pounds.
pretty significant.
Yeah, my stomach was very large.
as
and my
you've
backside,
seen.
yeah.
So let's talk about, what was that transition like for you? What were some of the things that you did that you felt helped? Because I think within 9 months you had gotten on stage.
Yeah,
again, right?
8 months I was back on stage. So the major thing that helped me is right after, I didn't stress out a lot about like counting anything. Basically, I chose to breastfeed. So I chose foods that would help with milk supply and just ate good food. So instead of like counting macros or you might have some treats, I just stuck to like oatmeal, meats, just kind of kept everything in a whole food group, and then let the natural weight come off that's going to, because right after, like, I think I only lost, like, she weighed 7 pounds, I lost like 9 at birth. So, and my stomach was still really distended. So what I did is just ate to be full, and then when my body weight stalled, where it wasn't losing anymore, then I reached back out to you and said, I'd like to start counting macros again. That was at about 5 months postpartum.
Okay.
And so I'd have to look back, but I think I was like 145.
Okay.
So I was like 15 pounds up from pre-pregnancy when I reached back out and was like, hey, I want to start, counting it again. I'd really like to do a show. It's kind of like my bounce back from baby.
Yeah.
And I responded well to it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I love about, working with clients through pregnancy is that it's a time to spend actually eating into the pregnancy.
Yeah, we were in reverse.
Some of my clients lose weight early on because there are food aversions. My wife had trouble keeping weight on in her first pregnancy because she just wasn't hungry. Like, things didn't sound good.
Yep.
But as pregnancy went along, she was able to gain some weight. So you end up spending a lot of time doing things that are probably metabolically positive for you. So when you come out and now you're with a baby, that first couple months, it's all about bonding. So I think it was a good idea
survival.
for you to kind of like, sleep is not your friend.
Yeah.
But just spending that time, like you said, eating whole foods, making good choices.
Yep.
And you'd already dropped a lot of the weight. But I'm sure you got into a routine again with being active.
Yeah, so big tip I have is if it is possible to make some sort of home workout scenario for yourself, do that. Because I would literally, she would go down for a nap, I would take her out, we had a garage gym, I would take her out there, I would work out as she woke up, I would feed her, and you know, sometimes your schedule is just going to be different.
Yep.
So there'd be times even when I was working out and Jake would have her and be like, she's hungry, can you come in? So I would have to break 10 minutes, go in, pump or feed her, come back out, finish. So everything's kind of more sporadic, but you just kind of learn a new routine.
Yeah, I think it's the most stressful right off the bat because there is no routine. And then once you kind of get into a rhythm, you know, me and my wife had such situation where like half the day I was in charge, half the day she was in charge.
Yep.
And so we didn't see each other much because, you know, that was your time to sleep and recover. But we found that was what was best for us. So maybe comment below, guys, if you would be interested in like a home workout circuit that Kayleigh could do. We could put it on the channel here. I think that might be helpful. But like she said, finding a way to keep the routine, just because you don't have the time to like drive to the gym and do these things, there are some great, actually we have a great home workout routine because of the virus stuff.
Yeah.
So if you go to prophysique.com and under programs, we have a free home workout program there. That's something that you could do. But the idea is not just to abandon everything because you have a child, and you have a reason to.
Yeah, and you can involve your kid in your workout too. Like Pearl, even now, actually, she's 4. She goes for stroller walks. She has since she was born, so I could get my cardio in with her, so I didn't have to like separate myself or take myself away from the family. And then now she has like her own little dumbbells because she's literally watched me grow up. Like she's grown up watching me, so she doesn't see exercise as like a chore or a bother. She thinks it's fun. Like she gets excited. Oh, we're gonna go to the gym. Yeah.
My son just did his first pull-up the other day, so now I own some Pokemon cards. But that's a different story. But yeah, I agree. Like, you know, having a home gym, and my kids have been around it since the beginning. So to them, it's just something that's fun to do, an activity.
Yep.
So okay, so we got to the point where we got back into tracking macros. What were some of the things that you do that allowed that process to be successful, whether it comes to food prep or schedule planning or just getting some of your time back?
Yeah, so the most important thing too is you have to make a schedule. So I worked full-time out of the home at that time too. So I would load my FitnessPal the day before, make sure I had all my food prepped. Before I would go to sleep, I would have her diaper bag ready for daycare. I would have all of my food ready for work, have all my pumping supplies for work, have all of my gym clothes.
Yeah.
So, and I did a lot of too, like if you work outside of the house and you happen to get like an hour lunch, sometimes I would take that hour lunch to run and do like a quick training or my cardio. Anytime you can use little windows like that you don't have to take away from your family is very helpful. So if you get up before they wake up and do some cardio or a workout in the garage, or you take your lunch hour and use that, any little windows there, you can kind of chip away at your day so you don't feel like you're kind of abandoning, you know, your child in the beginning. I had a lot of guilt in the beginning. You know, you will a little bit because you'll feel bad, like, should I take this time for myself? But I'm really glad that I did that. Yeah,
I think that's something we all go through as parents, and that's something that I do now is I get up and do my training before everyone else gets out because I feel like that's my time.
Yep.
The rest of the day I feel like, you know, it's between me and my wife and the kids to make sure we're spending enough time with each other. So that makes a lot of sense. But what she said there that really, it's something I talk about a lot in my videos, is planning ahead. If you're always just trying to figure out as you go what you're going to eat, you're going to often end up reaching or grabbing something, going through a drive-through, getting something at a gas station or at the checkout at a grocery store, and you're not going to actually make the best choice possible. You're just going to make a choice that's easy at the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to fall into because drive-throughs are convenient.
Yeah.
The food is cheap. But if you're planning your meals ahead and you're getting good whole foods, you're going to feel fuller, you're going to feel better, and you're going to reach your goals.
And it's cheaper.
It is cheaper in the long run. If you plan ahead and you prepare your meals, I know a lot of people say that sometimes, like bodybuilding is expensive because of the food. I'm like, well, you're going to eat anyway.
Yeah, and they didn't have the meal prep companies now. That wasn't really a thing, 4 years ago, that wasn't huge. So now that would even... If I was
well, so she's referring to like Icon Meals.
Yeah.
Icon Meals actually ships nationwide. They make like 200,000 to 300,000 meals a week right now. So if you go to iconmeals.com, and they're a sponsor of mine, but you can scroll through and pick meals, and if you use Paul 10, you get 10% off. And that's something when we travel, I can actually book and have the food shipped to the hotel I'm going to be at. You can have it shipped to your house. They were actually making meals during the entire pandemic. So I was getting a lot of food when we couldn't go to the store.
Yeah.
So that became very helpful. Okay, so you're working out, you're dieting well, But what did you do, you think, to get that last bit of body fat off? Because I know a lot of people get focused on the lower stubborn body fat. Did you do anything different to get that off, or was it just a matter of getting there?
Matter of getting there in time. Like, one thing I'll stress, I know for me personally, I feel like even with like postpartum clients, don't focus a lot on trying to like train abs and do, I think postpartum, it's really common, like when you think of getting your body back, you think of getting your abs back. Like genetically, I got mine back, but I just wouldn't overly stress about your midsection. It will come in, and what I look like a year or 8 months postpartum on stage, a year later it was even better.
Okay.
Like I got on stage pretty quick, but it was still, you just have to give yourself time. It's kind of like when you're in a diet phase, give yourself just as much time out of pregnancy as you were in pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, Kayleigh likes to just jump into prep at any moment notice, but I do remember the first show back, there was a massive difference in the next show back. We actually ended up going to the national stage that year, and it just, you had more muscle, the weight came off a little better. So just because it's not perfect doesn't mean that you're not setting yourself up for success long term.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I don't want to keep Kayleigh too long. She's got to get back to work. She's a coach here at Pro Physique. So if you guys have any questions or comments, go below. If you're interested in more information about the coaching, go to prophysique.com. But I think that was a good tips, right? Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.